did your parents, the way they brought you up, create you, or were you predestined to turn out who you are? And I'm not going into the
Yeah.
whole plan of God or
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
but
yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I know you're
were you
asking.
created by your parents, or were you created by your biological genes and your internals?
Well, like I was saying, it all start. Your parents were the foundation. Were the foundation of you, and then as you went through stages again of experience in different spaces, you gain stuff from other experiences. So it's a bit of both. It's not totally one and it's not totally other. It's a bit of both, because once you're born and you start to hear stuff and you start to experience stuff, your brain starts to absorb it, and in the process of absorbing it breaks it down and tries to figure it out. And then just like when you eat food and pass out the waste, it comes back out. What goes in it must come back out, because if your eye sees this computer, and then when it sees the computer, it takes a look at it and analyzes it, and it hears sounds coming from elsewhere, it has to put it back out. But it didn't totally come all from your parents. It came from those experiences, from speaking to people, seeing people, feeling all of that. Without that interaction, you can never, the advancement will not be the same. It's still advanced, but it just won't be the same. You have to go through different cycles. Like baking a cake, you go stage by stage.
Yeah, one of the things that was something that really influenced me when I was a kid was I had a very close relationship with my mother. I love my father, don't get me wrong, but I was very close with my mother, and it kind of influenced who I am today. And she told me something that, this was a couple of years ago when I kind of turned, into an adult. She said that when I was younger, she wasn't raising a child. She was raising me into the adult I would become. And I think that really stuck with me, because that means that instead of, taking me every day, I got a sniffle or a cold to the ER and getting antibiotics and stuff, she took me home, gave me soup, gave me love. She gave me love, which, really saw that she cared. It wasn't, I'll get a doctor to give you like some drugs to kill the pain. I'm going to try and help you now. If it gets worse, I'll take you to the doctor. But if this is a small cold, I can give you love. I can give you soup. I can give you bed rest. I can give you hugs. I can give you stories. And really, it was that she was raising me to be who the adult she wanted me to become. And I think that against all odds, parents influence your creation more than just nature does. It's like a nature versus nurture question. Yeah. I think that it's there is a little bit of the whole, nature, I'm going to be a bigger guy because my parents are both bigger. I'm going to have the same nose, the same face, which may open doors to talk to people that influence me. But from the ground and core, I was built by my parents.
Yeah. I mean, your physical will always. I mean, if your parents had a big belly, or they were skinny, or they were whatever short, I mean, you're gonna take those physical traits from one or the other. It could be a mixture, but your spiritual part of you and your mental part of you, your parents played a major part. Yes, but you have to have other influences. I mean, there's no matter how you put it, if you walk outside, the breeze is gonna blow on you. So it's the same thing with everything. It's like no matter how much your parents taught you, somebody is going to teach you something. No matter how you take it, what you do, you can't avoid that. You're always going to have other contact with other people, right? So you get influence from many different people, which is why they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, it's, like when you came to Canada and you've been in Canada, and like I didn't know you until this year was when we really started to talk.
Yeah.
And, like I think within the first week or something, you taught me something. And I think the week after that, I taught you something. And
we used
then
to
the week
talk
after
last
that,
year.
we talked last year, but we didn't really like hang out and like talk a lot.
We didn't hang
like,
out, but we still saw. I still would talk and
we chatted.
Yeah,
but like we didn't really like hang out and like do stuff like this.
Well, it's no, because you realize by speaking to me, you realize that you have
something to offer,
right? Because the reason why lots of people misinterpret me is just because I'm a quiet guy, and most of the times I mostly live within myself because I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. So naturally, that's gonna make me that I'm gonna do things differently. But that doesn't mean that I don't like to socialize or I don't like to be around people. But it's just, again, experience with people makes you look at people a certain way, just like it makes people look at you a certain way. So what happened to you now is that you really start talking to me and you realize that I have good stuff coming out of my mouth. It's not just yap, yap, yap. And I realize the same with you, that you have good stuff to offer. So it makes for a good conversation, and it was something that you can always talk, because there's always something to talk about, because you bring something and I bring something.
Exactly. And that's something there that you have to, like, the influence of people. I wouldn't say that you've changed my life, dramatically and made me a different person, but you've definitely opened my eyes to things that I didn't see before.
Yeah.
Perspective, like when we had that conversation about love. How you can have different pieces and different types of love for everyone.
You can have
You know,
different
that
types
was
of
I
love,
never
yes.
I never saw it that way.
I mean, of course, you can have different types of loves because you have the personal love where it's like as between between a man and a woman. Other people might have other preferences, but to me, between a man and a woman, you have personal love, and then you have general love. Just like you have different degrees of respect. Like I always say, I will give people two types of respect. One respect they'll get from me is the first one, which they're human. So they get a natural respect from me, wherein I'm gonna respect you're a human, I'm a human. That respect you gain, you don't have to work for it, you just get it. But there's a second respect with me where you have to earn it by the way you treat me, the way you deal with me, your honesty. Those things is why you have to gain the second respect from me. So it's just like love. You have different types of love. What you give to people,
Yeah,
what you show to
and
people.
some of it is earned and some of it isn't. Like
Right.
you have a natural love for your mother,
Right, because
but
she's my mother. But
she's
there's
your
still
mother,
stuff
but
she has to.
she
Not
still has to
because she's
do.
just my mother. That means, I mean, of course, I love my mother.
Well,
but,
what I was gonna say was that there's a natural love that she's blood, she's family.
Right.
But then there's another type of love with your mother that she earned by being sweet to you, by being caring, by listening, by
Right.
doing all those things. It's a different
Exactly.
type of love.
Exactly.
I don't want to say a rank of love or
Yeah.
like a compartmentalized love, but
Yeah.
there is a little bit of an earned love there. Like let's say Johnny A, who's standing beside us, he had a really tough childhood because his parents were never around.
Right.
He's gonna have that immediate love of they are my parents, they supported me, I do
Exactly.
love them, but with you and me, we both had really caring parents.
Right.
So
I mean,
it's a
but
different time.
sometimes you might have caring parents, but that doesn't mean that parents are. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So you cannot look at somebody
Not
and say,
not everyone can know everything.
right,
either.
not everyone can know everything, and at the end of the day, too, you might see people, and it looks one way because, like, everybody might naturally say, "Oh, there's a mother and a son, or there's a father and a daughter, or brothers," and people might just look at one and say, "Oh, that one is wrong for treating that one like that or whatever," but they don't really see other things that have been going on because love is a funny thing, right? You might do something for somebody, like you've done something good for your friend all throughout the time. And then when you check and turn around, the friend backstab you. And not because you're doing anything wrong to the person, but just because they have some issue with the way you look at things or the way you do things. Even though you're trying your best to try to listen to what they're saying because you respect them and you're not going to have a big chest and say, "Oh, you didn't teach me something." When the person taught you something, you're going to be humble. But at the end of the day, some people, they have a funny way of dealing with people.
Yeah,
which is,
that's just because no two people are alike.
yeah, no two people are, and they will never be alike. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's just it's just like it's basically consideration of the next person. If somebody expressed to you, it's like if you expressed to me that I stepped on your toe, and you said, "Oh, Andrew, you're my toe," but then instead of coming off of your toe, I pushed down on your toe more. You're gonna want to punch me, or you're gonna want to.
Yeah.
It's not that you want to be that way towards me, no, but you have done something that's hurtful to make the person react in that manner.
Yeah.
But it's even though you feel that hurt, it's still not your duty or your right to go and destroy the other person based upon your hurt, because then that makes you stoop to the person level.
No, but the next time that they come near you, you're going to be on your guard.
You're going to be on your guard, exactly.
And that's not a good way to like have people influence your life. But you may not. Some people would take the idea of revenge and want to be like, "I'm going to step on his toe next time." But some people, like I think, in my personal opinion, the good people say, "I'm going to put up a guard. I'm going to defend myself, but I'm still going to be civil with the person."
Right, but I mean,
It might have been just one in time, but every time that someone does it repeatedly, it's completely different.
Exactly. Well, repeated attacks is the problem. When you have repeated attacks on somebody and they made it known that they don't really want to fight with you, because number one, you're gonna fight with the person and all of your energy going to go into fighting, and then when you finish, it's like you have no energy, they have no energy, and then you're upset because I hit you, and I'm upset because you hit me, and the cycle goes on. It's like no end to the madness. So because to put an end to the madness, the best thing is debate, and then sometimes the best thing for people is to be on different roads. Like it's like if you're traveling on one road with somebody for a long time, and they're just not seeing the things you're seeing, and you're not seeing the things
Yeah, they're not seeing the same flowers.
Right,
they're not
they're
seeing
just-
the same events.
they're
Yeah.
just doing it a different way. Sometimes you have to let them. Life itself is making them go on a different journey to see something, and you go on a different journey, maybe to see what they were seeing, and maybe for them to see what you were seeing, and then who knows, maybe later on down the line or something, you see the person, and then when you see the person, you talk about things and you start to realize and stuff. But sometimes people's life does not mesh.
Yeah, like
Right?
sometimes like in high school or something like that. It's more for me than you, but like I don't talk to a lot of my friends from high school.
Yeah.
They went different directions than I did. But 10 years down the line, I might meet up with them at a party and a wine party or something when I'm a little older, and I might mesh with them again. And
Exactly.
it's possible that our paths could meet again for a short period of
Exactly.
time. It's possible
Exactly.
because just because you go in opposite directions doesn't mean that the paths can't come back together.
Well, that's so true, and sometimes, as I say, it's just that people, you cannot really want to say you want to be the boss